How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty. Now, why do you want to listen to this video? Why do you want to watch this video? J. Paul Getty was at one time the richest man in America at the age of 65 in 1957. And he has a lot of great insight about individuality, about becoming who you want to become rather than getting bogged down by society. And his really amazing insight, he has amazing insights on this topic. So really important, if you want to feel like you want to stand out from the crowd, you want to be yourself, watch this video and learn from Paul Getty. So Paul Getty was born into a sort of wealthy family. His dad was an oil businessman as well, and he owned oil wells. So he did fall into some wealth, but he did make his own money. He started his own business at a very young age, and by 24, he was a millionaire. In 1916, when he was 24, he was a millionaire. And then in 1957, at the age of 65, he was the richest man in America. And in 1976, when he died, he was worth $2 billion. The book is loaded with a lot of great ideas, but the most profound thing, the most profound idea is just the art of individuality. What J. Paul Getty talks about is that we are being forced by the society to become homogenized, as in the society is forcing us to all become the same, get this job, get this car, buy a house, have a family. Don't try to ruffle the feathers, don't try to do something stupid at work, don't do this, don't do that, just stay within these lines. But what J. Paul Getty is saying is, you don't want to be a conformist. You don't want to worry about the majority, and you want to be a contrarian in many ways. And he gives the example of Conrad Hilton and the Rockefeller. So Rockefeller started building the Rockefeller Center in 1931 in the heart of Great Depression. And Conrad Hilton he started actually buying hotels when everyone else was selling and trying to get out of the market, and the real estate market was really down. And what J. Paul Getty says is that is the real way to wealth. When things feel like they're turning down for a lot of people, you want to be a contrarian. You don't want to be a conformist. You want to be a rebel. You want to be an individual. You want to fight for what you think is right, and you have to make up your own mind. So he goes on to say that we have to have our own ideals and our own beliefs. Without our own ideals and our own beliefs, we just become a homogenized majority, a mass, a part of the mass who doesn't think for itself, who doesn't stand for itself. So you want to live by your identity. You want to live by your own sense of who you are. Because if you try to imitate, if you try to become just like all the other homogenized people who are out there, you are in for a big trouble. You are going to have a problem because you can never really become truly great if you're just following the crowd, if you're just a part of the crowd. Now, building on this idea of individuality, in order to be really individual, you need to understand what your values are and what your principles are. So know that if you have to establish your own standards of values, what is most important to you, what are you willing to give up in order to live by your values? Because in order to be truly rich, you have to be able to live by your values. You want to be able to live true to your values to feel like you're rich, you're doing something worthwhile in life. Because no amount of money will substitute a life devoid of living by values. Living by your own values, not by someone else's values. Really important idea. And then also having a purpose, living for a purpose beyond yourself, living for a purpose rather than beyond just the idea of wanting to amass a fortune, wanting to just become rich, having worthwhile ends. And J. Paul Getty says, well, wealth is just a means to some worthwhile cause. And of course, some of you who are in the California area or Southern California area, you've been to the Paul Getty Museum in LA, one of the most beautiful museums I have personally ever been to. And you've seen that he has been he was a big proponent of art. He always contributed to it. That was in some ways his mission in life as well, along with, of course, being a great businessman. The other idea, other than being an individual and living by your values and purpose, the other big idea that he talks about, and a lot of great philosophers, a lot of great thinkers have talked about again and again about this idea over the years, is the idea of being able to handle obstacles, not to run away from obstacles, but to realize there is no perfect business, there is no perfect life, there is no perfect anything. And it's a mark of greatness to know that you can deal with adversity. And not only deal with adversity, you come out better. You turn it to your advantage. So it is when you are down is the time to fight the hardest. When the tide is against, that's when you find the hardest. And realize the peak, the drive to the top, the journey to the top is not a smooth road. It is a jagged peak, ups and downs and jagged peaks and valleys and all those things. So there we have it, How to Get Rich, How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty. Really important idea of individuality, of living by your values and mission and purpose. If you want to get some brief overview of this book and get a PDF of it, click on the link and we'll send it over to you.